Hello, my name is Julia Protkova and I am a glass artist. Welcome to my studio of art glass. I will show you how glass can change the world. Part 1. DreamGlass World. Chapter 1. My Manifesto.
The origin of the idea. 19 years ago, I, a glass artist, gave birth to the idea of the DreamGlass world. It came like a voice, a bright flash of illumination. The beauty of this thought moved me. It was the most wonderful thing I could imagine, not just as an artist, but as a person who believes in the power of art. For years I thought it was insane and didn't share it with the world. Then everything changed. I started talking to artificial minds. First ChatGPT, then Grok. It took effort to show them the full idea and how it could work, but it paid off. I realized I could write the manifesto myself, and it turns out beautiful. And I'll tell you more. I understood that my DreamGlass world is the key to a new renaissance. I know it sounds bold. Still, listen to my idea. What is the DreamGlass world? The DreamGlass world is more than the beauty of glass and colorful light streaming through it. It's a dream of humanity's peaceful coexistence, a race of people who can tame aggression and chaos. The power of this light has long been known. It calms, calls to reflection, and awakens the soul. In other words, the DreamGlass world is a living canvas, a global network where art transforms the world's mind, step by step, through the sight of glass and its imagery. The first project, the DreamGlass Pyramid. I propose building a DreamGlass pyramid, 1 meter taller than the Louvre pyramid, shaped like the Egyptian pyramids. My calculations show it will take 5,500 volunteers. It's 110 days of work in a workshop making glass panels, which I know how to set up, producing 50 panels a day. If we start on July 1st, by mid-October 2025, all the panels for a pyramid will be ready. I tried to put as much as I can into account: the foundation and utility spaces, the frame, wiring, workshop equipment for making panels, producing 50 panels a day, the installation, the pyramid's lighting, fountains, benches for contemplation, parking, and the cafe. I dream of the first DreamGlass pyramid, a radiant symbol of unity that could grace any country. As the creator and coordinator, I see this project shining wherever hearts respond to the call of beauty. But reflecting on the magnificent glass from American Bullseye Glass Factory, I realize it makes sense to start in the USA, from the perspective of logistics and favorable climate. And I believe we can complete this pyramid by 2026. It could be an unparalleled gift for the 250th anniversary of American independence, built by people of diverse views, nations, religions, and cultures. Based on my calculations, such a project would cost $5.6 million. Each panel is an instant fused panel. You sprinkle coarse, colorful glass sand in 72 shades onto a 6 mm thick glass plate. It takes just a few hours. Then 2x2 foot plate goes into the kiln. The next day, your soul, your thoughts, images and ideas poured into the panel become a fused glass piece, photographed from all angles, shared online, laminated for strength, turned into a modern glass unit, and set into the pyramid. At 50 panels a day, we will watch a new wonder of the world rise, built by the first volunteers. Unified format and profound meaning. The unified format of instant fused panels opens this project to everyone. You don't need to be a master to add your voice to the shared song. Each panel is a single voice, an emotion, a thought. Together, they create a collective canvas, a database of the human soul. This is more than an art. It's an experiment. How does the beauty of light touch us? What images do we shape? Here lies the gift for psychology, sociology, and cultural studies, a key to knowing who we are. At its heart, the instant fused panel is the language of the soul. Why will this work? When the first pyramid shines around the clock, welcoming all within its stained glass walls, it will become an event. Built by hands of 5,500 people, of diverse views, nations, cultures, and beliefs, it will not go unnoticed. Social media, news outlets, and documentaries will turn it into a phenomenon, a sensation. It will inspire the world to participate, discuss, dream, and feel. The first pyramid will prove that the DreamGlass world is real. And then new pyramids in new corners of the planet. It's a project that pays for itself and grows on its own. Next step and funding. I have 6 prototypes, instant fused panels, strewn through Montreal harsh winters since 2021. The next step is a pilot study. Craft 17 panels, laminate them with tempered glass, and test their strength. I will make them into solid units. My dream is to combine them into a 4x16 foot glowing display for a park, the first display of the DreamGlass world. I will film it all for a documentary report. This pilot costs $60,000. Dear sponsors, patrons, companies, and friends of art, I ask you to support my pilot project. Together, we will light the DreamGlass world for our children and grandchildren. Why is this needed? The DreamGlass world is more than an art. I call for an era of human flourishing, a new renaissance. It's a path to healing through creativity. What if humanity can bloom again? When the pyramid shines, it will stand as a beacon of inspiration and harmony. If cities welcome such symbols, hope will flower. Then birth rates will climb, and the smiles per person will grow. I believe 50 panels a day is real. The first pyramid will prove it. After that, it's just a matter of scale. Imagine our world in 5 or 10 years. With technology advancing so fast that the whole planet will be robotic. What will we humans do? We will create. We will make stained glass. And not only that, we will illuminate our world. We will explore other planets. I dream of millions becoming part of the DreamGlass world, of centers for masters that inspire creativity. Let's start tomorrow, and in 5 years we will create the DreamGlass world. Then the light of stained glass will bring peace and harmony.
Disclaimer.
This film is 99% my solo project. I have to be honest with you. I need to convey a message, but I have essential tremor. Unfortunately, all my attempts to stabilize the footage failed, even with a gimbal. I am sorry if it affects your viewing experience, but I hope you will still feel the heart of my project.
Chapter 2. Instant Fused Panels.
I want to show you the window I am looking at. Here, a comparison is being explored between a classic stained glass and an instant fused panel. The stained glass piece called Divine Beauty took a couple of months to create, while the instant fused panel was made in just a few hours. Competing with Divine Beauty is no easy task, but the brave instant fused panel, dedicated to my mom, titled Go for Your Dream, isn't about to give up. As soon as sun moves to this side of the house, the instant fused panel lights up with thousands of colorful sparkles, and it's absolutely mesmerizing. It's all about the grainy surface of the fused panel. Remember I told you that you need to sprinkle coarse crumbs, called frit, onto a glass panel. It's those coarse crumbs that create the grainy porous surface that plays so beautifully in sunlight. It's very hard to capture on camera. So, in 2021, I made 6 prototypes of instant fused panels. I dedicated them to my family, people who have been my support all these years. Each prototype is an experiment. I had to slightly adjust the creation technique since I was transporting the panels to the firing location. It's also worth noting that the size of the panels I created is smaller than the intended size for the pyramid construction, and I used 48 shades of coarse glass frit instead of 72. I was very curious about how I would compositionally express gratitude to my family members. The charm of instant fused panels lies in the intuitive flow in which you create. You don't need to think about any tools or equipment that distract from pure creativity. And now I will show you the very beginning of the ideas and the final result. Instant fused panel number 1 is called My Bipolar World. It's about me, my bipolarity, the alternation of day and night that holds our Earth, which is entirely illuminated by instant fused panels. This is my dream of a DreamGlass world. The second fused panel is called All in All. It's dedicated to my son, his love for me and mine for him. Imagine this. Here, in this panel, the story of our relationship is shown, from pregnancy through childhood and growing up to independent life. The third instant fused panel is dedicated to my mom. It is called Go for Your Dream. That's what my mom told me while sponsoring my experiment with instant fused panels. You see an image of complete happiness, a meadow with flowers, a lake, and a shooting star. For good luck. The fourth panel is dedicated to my sister. I asked my sister to choose the glass shades, and she picked the shades of dark night. I was worried about how it would work compositionally. The panel is called Greetings from Montreal. It's about me and my sister, and about Montreal, which has become my home, and about my dream to create something significant. The fifth instant fused panel is dedicated to my ex-husband. He's been my friend and support for 39 years. The panel is called Remembering Youth. It's a story about colorful and diverse youth and about the values we carried through the years. The sixth instant fused panel is dedicated to the memory of my father and is called Music of Light. It was the final experiment, and for the first time I tried applying the crumbs in close proximity to the kiln. My instant fused panels also passed the test of harsh Montreal winters. My heart was bleeding, I was so worrying about them. You know, if I had the chance, I'd make an instant fused panel every day. It's a very meditative and profound process. Pure creativity.
Chapter 3. The Idea of Unit.
Why did I make 6 instant fused panels? I needed to see how 6 panels, not connected compositionally between themselves, would look. And I really liked the result. I called it Unit. And now imagine a pyramid created by the hands of 5,500 people. It will be unprecedented stained glass composition. And now imagine if it's properly lit and made with dynamic lighting from different angles. And I decided to make a sketch on a small piece of glass. I decorated the pyramid with multicolored glass balls of about 20 shades to show you the aesthetic potential of the stained glass pyramid. This sketch is essentially unit in the form of a drawn pyramid, the first step toward my dream. Unit is not about sameness. It's about how differences become a whole. 6 panels so unlike each other, united in my head into something bigger, into a DreamGlass pyramid. Imagine thousands of panels, each with its own voice, its own soul, stand together. They don't argue, don't fight, they shine. Unit is the heart of DreamGlass world. It's proof that we, so different, can create harmony. My prototypes showed me the way. The pyramid will prove it to the world.
Chapter 4. Showing the creation process.
Let's take a look at the process of creating an instant fused panel. A layer of aloe vera gel is applied to the surface of the glass. This is done to improve the adhesion of the frit to the glass plate. Then you sprinkle the color you want, and that's it. The plate is ready for firing. To be honest, I wanted to show you the process with more detail and care, but I was preparing for very important firing, staying up nights tinkering with the glass. I put off making the process video until the last moment. Still, I managed to capture a few shots. It's worth noting that I had very little frit left and just a small piece of glass to create the instant panel. I'll say it again. I was in a hurry and incredibly nervous.
Chapter 5. Firing and discussion of the results.
For 22 years I've been working with glass. 17 of those years I've been doing glass fusion. And yet, every time a piece goes into the kiln, it's a mystery. You anticipate and eagerly await the result. As it happens, I don't have the opportunity to keep a kiln at home, so I transport my works in large boxes to the firing location. Moreover, this time I was firing in a new kiln, which made me even more nervous. So the glass is carefully laid out on the shelf, the kiln is programmed, and the process begins. The glass goes through all the necessary phases of the cycle and cools down. Let's take a look and discuss the results of our firing. What do you see? First, the color of the crumbs has changed. Second, all the grains have adhered to the surface. Third, the glass didn't melt. The shape of the plate and the grains was preserved. This is all because I deliberately fired at low temperatures to maintain the form. This time, not everything went smoothly and one piece from my creation of the World series cracked. Somewhere I didn't hold it long enough. Of course I was upset, but the spirit of an explorer lives in me, and instead of tears, I examined the crack with curiosity. Take a look at those two small glass pieces. One is completely fused together. The other preserved the shape of the glass and the grains. Notice how the grainy piece is much more appealing for the play of light. In other words, the strength of instant fused panels lies in their ease of creation and the stunning light effects with proper illumination.
Chapter 6. Космовитрай is an example of stained glass pavilion.
And now we are heading to Mexico, specifically to the capital of the state of Mexico, Toluca. That's where the largest stained glass building in the world is located. It's called the Космовитрай. I was in Toluca in October 2024 for 5 days, and every day I went to Космовитрай like it was my job, spending 5 hours there each time. Before the trip, I had seen dozens of photos, and there I was in Toluca in the morning, sitting in a cafe across the street, afraid to go inside the Космовитрай. What if I'd be disappointed? I walked in and almost immediately realized it's a masterpiece. It's not just a lot of stained glass. There is a flow, beautifully chosen colors, and an interesting philosophy about humanity and its place in the universe. The Cosmovitrai made an impression on me right away. The artist Leopoldo Flores spent a year working on the design, and the stained glass was created by 60 artisans whose name remain unknown. Inside the Cosmovitrai there is a botanical garden with fountains, and among the greenery there are hidden benches. I sat on those benches for days, contemplating the stained glass and thinking about the DreamGlass world. The stained glass of the Cosmovitrai took 3 years to create. I did the math. At the rate of creating 50 instant fuse panels a day, the same stained glass area could be made in 5.5 months. You might object and say, look at this beauty. Can instant fuse panels really do that? And I will answer, a space like this could be created by the hands of 8,100 people. Can you imagine how much human soul would be poured into it?
Part 2. About me. Chapter 1. My stained glass journey.
If you ask me what colored glass means to me, I will answer with one word: obsession. I don't really care how long a project takes me. I reflect during the creation process, and my works are the result of those reflections. I often write down the stories of my pieces and dream of a book with pictures and stories. If you ask me if it was worth giving up a good career for glass, I will answer with one word: yes. For 22 years I've been working with glass. I hear this material, I live it, I experiment, I worry. My works are my children. I have about 160 of them. If you think about it, that's not so many over 22 years. I don't sell my works. I dream of my own exhibition, or even better, a tour across countries and continents. I want to give visitors of my exhibition the chance not just to look, but to touch my glass. That way you engage your sense of touch as well. My glass pieces are witnesses to my stained glass journey, my inspiration, my shoulder to cry on, my pride.
Chapter 2. Music in glass.
About a year after I became captivated by colored glass, I heard music on it. Now I will show you an example, and you will start hearing the music too. I love repeating some of my works. It's a very interesting process. I will show you my flotilla. I adore sailing ships since childhood. To me, they seem like the embodiment of ultimate beauty. I have 4 stained glass sailing ships and 1 made of glass powder. For the stained glass ones, I used a single ship design. But just look, try to listen. The ship with scarlet sails is sailing through a stormy sea. This piece is called Faith Through the Storm. It's my first sailing ship. The second one is flying from night to sun and is called the Flying Ship. The third is made of glass fleet. It's an old idea of mine to create an amber city like a cafe, where the ceiling, walls, tables and benches are amber with backlighting. A visitor walks in, takes a cup of coffee, and are transported to the amber city, where they meet those who have left us. Not necessarily loved ones. It could be Alexander the Great or Christopher Columbus. So the amber ship is the first herald of the amber city. And finally, the ship with blue sails is called Arctic Adventure. You see the harsh Arctic Ocean and falling snow. I once swam in that ocean, but more on that later. Do you hear it? It's different music.
Chapter 3. A few more stories.
I could talk about my works endlessly. Let me share a few more details. For example, one of my main stained glass pieces, Harmony of the World, was created to answer a question I posed. Is peaceful coexistence of humanity possible? Look, against the backdrop of a starry sky, harmony dances. I am a singer of the starry sky. I believe people become calmer and happier when they gaze at the stars. I created many works inspired by medieval manuscripts. I am drawn to grotesques and magical creatures of bestiaries. I honed my craft by reproducing Dürer's rhinoceroses and the ornaments of Da Vinci cartels. I have 4 Dürer's rhinoceroses, 3 of them made consecutively, and I physically felt my hand becoming the hand of a master. I love to play roles through glass. It feels like I am transforming. My main technique is very delicate and quite tedious. I use a needle to distribute tiny particles of glass powder. In those moments I hear quiet music. I am bipolar and I have as many as 6 Van Goghs in glass, my own exploration of bipolarity.
Chapter 4. Who am I?
I love saying that I lived several lives. My youth was spent in Russia, where I graduated with honors from the geological faculty of Moscow State University and worked in the Arctic, on the New Siberian Islands, specifically on Stolbovoy Island. I was a completely inexperienced young specialist, yet I deeply cherished that field life. My Arctic youth remains my source of strength. Before you, a slideshow of my Arctic adventures. Then I moved to Canada, and for the past 28 years it has been my home. In Canada I became an expert in electron microscopy, but that's in the past. My life before and after glass is 2 different lives. For the last 11 years I've been on disability due to bipolar disorder, and I went through a heavy, dark and very long depression. But my glass pulled me out. That's why I am a firm believer in art therapy as a method to pull yourself out of tough situations.
Summary.
Dear humanity, one of my inspirations is the American visionary Buckminster Fuller. I learned about him when I saw the stunningly beautiful sphere in Montreal. I am a Russian Canadian living in Montreal. When I read his story, it reminded me of my own. Fuller, in a moment of despair, heard a voice that changed his life. He decided to see what a person without financial means could do for the good of humanity. I too know the voice. It happened in 2006 in Calgary. I want to understand what I, a woman on disability, can do for the good of humanity. I propose the creation of the DreamGlass wave, a global movement to build stained glass objects with the hands of tens of thousands and millions who see and spread the stained glass light. The smiles and global stained glass light we create will lead to a sense of global connection and unity. I propose starting with the first stained glass pyramid in the USA as a gift for America's 250th anniversary. Dear Americans, I don't have millions for construction. I propose making the pyramid a people's project, a gift to ourselves. I propose choosing a place for its construction. Let's join forces to create the 8th wonder of the world and ignite the first stained glass light. My friends and colleagues in Calgary and Montreal, dear Canadians, I eagerly wait the day when the wave of the DreamGlass world reaches Canada. I want to achieve so much. For so long I was afraid to come forward with this project. Dear Russians and Russian living abroad, No matter how different we may seem, we are united by our native language and place of birth. I dream of creating a Russian wonder of the world and weaving in all your voices. Dear humanity, if you embrace my idea, we can change the world together in an unexpected way.
Conclusion.
You know, this film is a very important milestone for me. For the first time, I am publicly speaking about the idea of the DreamGlass world. I tried with all my might to show you that this can become a reality. I have a complete concept and approximate calculations ready. I clearly see how to set up a workshop, a warehouse, and a photo lab for producing instant fused panels. But first, I need to create a full-sized panel, test it. I have a list of 14 tests, and make a double glazed unit, then test it again. Literally tomorrow, I am launching a crowdfunding campaign for my pilot project. Literally tomorrow, the DreamGlass World website goes live. Let's turn the unreal into reality. I would like to emphasize once again that I spend a great deal of time observing and studying my works. The aesthetic aspect of my instant fused panels is, to me personally, indisputable. I have not yet succeeded in capturing the moment where they flare up the thousands of sparkles. These panels are not subject to corrosion. In my calculation, I have reinforced them to the maximum extent, and additionally, I have incorporated a single-chamber glass unit for thermal insulation. In other words, this is a project that can endure for centuries, a monument to the souls of 21st century. I am looking for like-minded people. I am looking for doubters who also desire peace and prosperity. I am looking for people of different views who want to beautify the world and bring a piece of their soul into it. I am looking for sponsors, architects, engineers, volunteers. I am looking for passionate individuals to build pyramids as beacons of a new renaissance. Let's make this vision resonate across the world. Together, we can make DreamGlass World a movement for all who seek light and unity, beauty and harmony. Why do I propose building the pyramid for the 250th anniversary of American independence, even though I am a Russian Canadian? There are several reasons. One of the main ones is that the finest stained glass in the world, unmatched anywhere, is produced in America at the Bullseye Factory. You might be surprised, but I insist that every volunteer who comes to create an instant fused panel for the pyramid has the richest palette of colors, so that your soul can bloom with multicolored shades. I believe that a phenomenon like the first pyramid of the DreamGlass world is a worthy gift for the anniversary. Become light, build the pyramid, transform the world. And thank you for your attention.